All right, welcome back to another episode of the Cody Tucker Show. As always, I'm your host, Cody Tucker. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. This week, going to be a pretty busy one, as is next week. I should have 2 episodes coming out this week and next. The regular one with yours truly, and then 2 with special guests. So, if you like just seeing me by myself for some reason, well, you're in luck. If you like seeing me awkwardly ask weird questions, you are also in luck. So, yeah. I think those will come out on, the guest episodes will come out on Thursdays, like little bonuses, and then, the regular ones will stay on Tuesday. So, now that we got that bullshit out of the way, okay, so I've been trying my best to lay off the conspiracies, to stay off the message boards, stay off of Reddit, stay off of Twitter, X. I never dove into the old, the other ones. Although from what I've heard, boy, they sound like just a treasure trove of, like basically, things designed for me. Anyways, thought I had basically, gotten out of that world safe and sound. Didn't end up like a particular New York Jets quarterback. Fucking man. Okay, I don't know if he said that. If you don't know, Aaron Rodgers is in some deep shit because allegedly he said that he didn't believe that the Sandy Hook massacre happened, then changed it to like he believed it was set up by the government. Either way, what the fuck are you doing? Like, as much as I love conspiracies, and boy do I, and this episode is about to be dedicated to one that has forced its way into my world. But that one, no. Like, that, most conspiracies, or maybe not most, but a lot of conspiracies, at least the ones that I find interesting, are relatively harmless. It's like, was the moon landing real? Who does that hurt? Besides fucking Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong and fucker Michael Collins. I'm pretty sure they're all 3 dead. So who gives a shit? The JFK one is probably the most intense one that I get into. And, they're all fucking gone too. So, I feel like my fascination with conspiracies is pretty harmless. But to say that a bunch of kids, yeah. I don't know. I'm not, again, not saying that that's what he said. I'm just saying that's what he's in deep shit for. And everything I could try to find about it was basically him saying that he believed the government had something to do with it, which, what a piece of shit. If that's really what you believe. If that's what anyone believes, you are a real, just horrible person. So, to get that out there, I do not believe that that is a conspiracy at all, one bit. Do I believe that, like, anything like that gets politicized and turned into a political thing, even if it may not have been? 100%. Obviously, like, anytime that there is, say, like a mass shooting, it's basically who can get on TV first to talk about either getting rid of guns or protecting gun ownership. And very little talk about mental health. Very little talk about, why the fuck would someone want to do this in the first place? Seems to just always jump straight to, guns, which I don't know. I'm no fucking politician. I'm no gun expert. I'm terrified of guns. I'm not saying I don't think people should have them. Fuck it. If having a gun makes you happy, whatever. If you want to go out in the woods and shoot shit, that's your business. So there's, the hot take on that. But the one that has been really forcing its way into my world, and at first I was like, I don't give a fuck about this. Who cares? And then over time, especially in the past couple days, has turned into, oh my God, this is Sure enough, I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm not seeing any light of day. It involves this son of a bitch. So this picture has become the damn Zapruder film. The way that people are able to tell whether a picture is fake nowadays is astounding, and really has made me question my dick pic taking skills, because boy, there is a hefty amount of Photoshop done on those. Filters, everything. There's a damn dog ears on the shaft. Anyways, how anyone could look at this picture and be like, oh, fake. And now, for the record, it has been proven that this is fake, that this is a completely fake doctored photo. I could have looked at this thing for days straight, which I have now. I know where the fuck-ups are in this picture, and I still can't tell. I know that on her left hand, let me see if I can fucking zoom in. Nah, I'm not zooming in. Fuck it. You can zoom in. On her left hand, apparently it's a hard edge, which I don't see that. The little fucker on the right, his fingers are all wonky, which, again, genetics. Anyways, so apparently, to kind of do like a little backup, old PK in the middle, Princess Kate, been missing for a little bit. And not just a little bit, for months. And the original story, she had just a routine abdominal surgery, was going to take some time to recover. Now, not a doctor, how long does a routine abdominal surgery take? How long is the recovery period for that? In my mind, 4 to 6 weeks. That's what I would imagine. 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. They're saying that it's a 9-month procedure, or a 9-month recovery. Boy, that sounds like a long time to be recovering from a abdominal surgery. Now, the internet, boy, I fucking love the internet. Any comment you find about what happened to the princess is that she had a BBL done. And boy, if she comes out of that hospital like full on, if she comes out of that hospital looking like Madonna, how Madonna looks now, like Kim K or something, she's already, she's a pretty attractive woman, but my God, if she comes out just toting a fucking wheelbarrow full of ass, oh my, it'll be the greatest day on earth. I doubt that's what happened. If I had to guess, and now, boy, again, really didn't want to just care that much about this, but I also, I don't know if it's the mild homosexuality running through me, but I did watch every single episode of The Crown. And those inbred fucks are the most fascinating human beings on the planet. I don't like any of them. Don't like a single fucking one of them. But, it's like, again, I mentioned this last week. I'm a big fan of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. To me, it is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but with even dumber people and actually a lot more alcoholism. Case in point. Okay, so I guess I don't really know how to approach this. I just know that I want to talk about it because it's all I've been reading about for the past week, and if I don't get it out, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. So, Slick Willie here, Prince William, allegedly a bit of a pugilist. And on occasion, when he and the missus, Katie do, when they, start bickering back and forth, which has to be the funniest shit ever, which the royal family basically is, I don't know if you ever watched The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, but if those motherfuckers won the lottery and then kept doing what they were doing, 200 years later, they would be the royal family. That's kind of the gist. Like, they could barely talk. King Chuck, at any point, every single one of his 10 fingers are going to explode off of his hands, which he also has cancer, which I hate to do this, but I kind of odd timing for them to announce that the fucker has cancer whenever everybody's, peeking around saying, where the fuck is old Princess Kate? That's just another level to this bullshit. But apparently they get a little handsy, throwing some shit around. It seems as though, and again, I'm just going to go ahead and give my theory as to what happened, so that when the truth comes out, I can have a bookmarked, time-stamped thing of me being correct about this. Because, boy, I've spent all of 6 days looking into this, and I feel like Nancy Drew. I 100% believe that I am hot on the case on this one. So, my opinion, my theory, in which, boy, the royal family's not really one to be fucked with. Just ask old Harry and Willie's mom. But, it's also, they're a bunch of fucking creeps. So who gives a shit? I mean, if they come to goddamn East Texas to take my ass out, they got way more problems than I thought. Anyways, so it seems as though, like, my theory is that in the midst of a heated battle, a lot of, you fucking bitch, you fucking cunt, like all that, that's just my theory as to what their fighting sounds like. I believe that old Willie might have picked up something a little heavy and cracked Kate across the fucking head with it and sent her ass into not a great place. I think Princess Kate is in a fucking coma right now, guarded, full on. They probably have her ass in a bunker somewhere, on a ventilator, pretty much like sort of like a Frankenstein type rig, like someone knock on the castle door and then there's like a little alarm goes off in the basement, like, oh fuck, trouble. That's kind of how it seems to be. And for them to say this is like a 9-month thing, that boy. And then for, obviously these people are fucking morons. When your family tree has like 2 branches on it, or when your family tree looks like a pool cue, you're not going to be making the wisest of decisions. So, yeah, for them to be like, hey, go ahead and use this AI bullshit to doctor up pictures of my wife alive and well, and hoping that the world doesn't find out. I mean, this woman is like, because everybody cares about this shit so much, which I never thought I'd be a person that would care about this. What the fuck happened to me? Jesus Christ. I mean, I did grow up with a mom who watched soap operas fucking constantly, and that had to have done something to me. Just the repeated, who's sleeping with who, somebody's car is hanging off a cliff because the actor wants a raise. Like, there's all of these things combined. It must be why I find all this shit fascinating. But, again, I have a feeling that this poor woman does not want to be a part of this goddamn family. If the crown is anything like how it really is for these people, it is a goddamn nightmare. Like a legitimate, like, it's like a goddamn John Waters film. The amount of shit you have to do. One, you have to learn Welsh. Or maybe that might have just been old King Chuck. But if somebody made me learn fucking Welsh, boy, I'd put one right in my goddamn temple. Just all the fucking... Like, they have these motherfuckers dressing up like they're in, the goddamn Nutcracker. And, like, who gives a shit? That place is so fucked. And, you would think when old Lizzie, finally kicked the bucket that things would, maybe people would just stop giving as much of a shit because that old bag had been around so long. Not the case. Not the case whatsoever. I mean, King Chuck's probably going to be croaking here in 30 minutes or so. But still, it's just... Like, they're the dumbest fucking people I've ever seen. And so it only makes sense that their PR people would also be very stupid. And, like... How can you not come up with a better excuse? Like, obviously, somewhere right now, Kate Middleton is in a fucking coma, probably inches away from death. And, like, you have had all this time. This motherfucker hasn't been seen in public in, like, 3 months. Like, I used to be so good at lying. Actually, maybe not. I probably wasn't that good at lying. I just thought I was and did it a lot. But I feel like I was able to come up with very elaborate, well thought out excuses so fast. Like, I'm actually give myself a pat on the back on this one. Boy, my arm does not reach my back. Okay, give yourself a pat on the front of your shoulder. Anyways, I would get cornered and give like an incredible, completely fabricated story to hide, that I had, whatever, done something wrong, whatever, or to try to make myself seem cooler than I really am. It's a stressful fucking thing to do, which is kind of why I'm glad I kind of just don't give a shit anymore. Because then you could just tell the truth and who cares? But, like, maybe I should be a PR rep. Because I feel like I could have these motherfuckers completely squared away. I mean, I honestly could probably give them 6 months of leeway with this. I mean, just say she got a fucking... Shit, maybe say she got a BBL. And then while she's in a coma, go ahead and give her one. Shit. It can't hurt. I mean, say that after she had fucking 3, kids that can probably fucking hear colors, and, fucking see, they can probably taste sounds. Go ahead and fucking say, yeah, my shit's blown out. I gotta, tighten her back up. It's probably not a bad excuse. It's a pretty trendy thing to do. Say she had a fucking bad reaction to Ozempic. I don't know. Something. There's something they should be able to do that is better than what the fuck they're doing now. I mean, Prince William just seems like such a dork. And that really is how it is. Like, Ike Turner seemed like a dork. Like a lot of the people that you hear that, like, are abusive people, it's not really like the people that you'd be, like, afraid of, It's not like a person that you'd be intimidated by. Who the fuck is intimidated by Prince William? Yet, throws those hands around, apparently. I just said, boy, it is just really a mind-boggling thing to me that, like, how the fuck does this even happen? Like, how does this happen? And then to do this bullshit picture. I mean, I looked up so many theories about this picture. Like, if one was like this plant back here in the back. I mean, boy, I hate to really, like, make fun of children. But, boy, these are some ugly-ass kids. Every one of them. I mean, the two on the sides, the one in the back, I mean, you can't really tell too much. They all have a very, Gilbert Grape sort of thing going on. Like, especially fucker on the, well, actually one on the left, right, and middle. Not Kate Middleton, it looks pretty good. But the left, right, and up all kind of have a, what was it, Arnie Grape sort of thing. Like they all kind of have that feeling to them. Like, they're probably going to walk into that, whatever chamber they have old Kate on a ventilator in, and, like, Mama. When that movie sucks so bad. When he finds out his fat ass mom's dead, oh my God. Like, that might be what's in store for these poor bastards. Which I don't know. I mean, wait, what was that fucking... Oh, yes. So, people were pointing out how this plant back here in the back is like a seasonal plant that wouldn't even be in bloom this time of year. Now, how the fuck... how I stumbled upon a Twitter feed, a Twitter thread that also had internet sleuths and botanists is quite astounding. Really just shows, what kind of power this royal family has. I mean, they are able to bring together a very eclectic group of people. Jackasses like me. People who seem to be able to look at this picture and know what plant that is. You could not show me a picture of a plant. There would be a 5% chance I'd be able to name it. I could probably narrow it down to like tree versus bush. And that's about it. Very, impressive really, but also like, there has to be better things going on. Which also leads you to believe, kind of conspiracy furthering, there probably is something going on. And maybe this is a distraction. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe that things are distractions for other things. But definitely sure seem like they dropped the old Big C news for old King Chuck at a opportune time. Anyway, so that's what's going on with the royal family. Rest in peace, Kate Middleton, I guess, because there ain't no fucking way she's still alive. Her ass is gone. I would not be surprised right now if Elon Musk is building a Kate Middleton bot that will then become like the new Kate Middleton. And they're just going to pretend like none of this shit ever happened. Like a Stepford Wives kind of situation. Which, some of those little dolls are kind of realistic. So, and as robotic as the whole fucking royal family seems, she actually probably fit in even better. Oh, man. Just amazing. To do this like twice, I think this is the second picture that they put out that was like completely fake, trying to pass off that like that's her now. You'd think you'd learn after the first one that like, shit, people are actually like pretty good at spotting bullshit. Again, you must just like not have to have much of, you must not have to have a lot of talent to be like in PR. But you would think if it's the royal family, you would have, whoever the Michael Jordan of PR is, like that's who you'd have. Because they have basically an unlimited amount of money. And what they actually do, I watched, I believe it's 6 seasons of The Crown. I do not know what they do. 6 seasons, each season I believe was 10 episodes. Each episode was at least an hour. 1060. Is that 60 hours? Is that the right math? Yeah. So 60 hours. Diving in. It's like 5 days. 5 days straight, nonstop, glued to a television, seeing what their lives are like. And I could not tell you what it is that they do. It seems like they just show up to things and get their picture taken. They're basically like influencers. They're like TikTok kids, but old and British. So, God, I mean, actually sounds like a nice, maybe Princess Diana should have just, like, fucking, knucked up and handled it. Like, that's a pretty good life. You get to do all the fucking greatest shit ever. Get all this money, all this, whatever. I mean, yeah, occasionally, and actually you don't have to, she actually had it perfect. You don't have to have sex with old Chuck, because he'd rather go fuck some woman that looks like, he'd rather go fuck some woman that looks like goddamn Stewart from Mad TV. And like Camilla Parker Bowles, looks oddly like Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber. So basically, he's going to have sex with that. So you don't have to even do anything. Like, you don't have to have sex with a dude who basically has flippers. And, you still get all the perks. So it really just shows you that, you give people an inch and they will try to take a mile. Because in the Crown, they really do kind of show Princess Diana as being kind of like very ungrateful for the situation. I mean, I'd fuck old, old Chucky do if he got me all that shit. So I don't know. I mean, I would have stayed my ass right in that castle. Just trying on shit and eating. I would 100% turn into a full tyrant. Probably within like 6 hours. Not like Andrew level tyrant, but he's not a tyrant, he's just a pederast. But, not to that level, but like I'd be like Mariah Carey and Elton John put together. Just a real miserable prick to be around. More so than I already am. So anyways, that's enough talking about this shit. If you still feel lost as to what the hell is going on, you're in good company, because I think everybody else feels pretty lost too. So, it's not just you. All right, so let's see what the fuck. God damn. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Oh shit. So if my right forearm seems like it's atrophying, this would be why. Watch your porn elsewhere, Texans. Access blocked statewide. Not everything is bigger in Texas as it seems, because the porn selection just got a heck of a lot smaller, with Pornhub blocking access to would-be, and then I cut it off. Uh-oh. Oh well. The gist is, you can't watch Pornhub in Texas. Oh no, what am I to do? Let me tell you something. I have accrued probably... One, if you're watching Pornhub in 2024... step it the fuck up, because it's like the most mediocre of all adult sites. I have, since the age of 11, have amassed basically like a Library of Alexandria size resource list for events like this. Like basically a adult website doomsday bunker. In case the site goes down, there's 15 on deck ready to go. And there's so many better ones. I don't know if there's a lot of weird shit that goes on Pornhub, so it probably is for the best. But for this to happen in a state where open carry is allowed, it's probably not good, because I have found out that most people kind of just think Pornhub's the only option. And if that's all you know, then that's all you know. You don't know what you don't know. It's like whenever you see people drinking Pepsi, you're like, why the fuck are you drinking that? I'm like, oh, well, I grew up in a family, that all we drank was Pepsi. So you don't know that it's trash, that it tastes like fucking sewage runoff. They have no idea. They have no idea that there's a soda called Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola or even the plethora of root beers that are a million times better than Pepsi. Yet, if you go to a restaurant, they will get weirdly angry if Pepsi is not an option. Pornhub is Pepsi. Pepsi is Pornhub. Very similar. Like, people think it's good, and it isn't. Most of the shit on Pornhub is only like 6 minutes, which, granted, typically only takes me about 35 and a half seconds. But I like the build-up. I don't want to see a 6-minute clip. Like, I'm trying to watch full thing. I need character development, resolution, need the whole thing. I need the stage to be set. You don't really get that with a lot of the videos on Pornhub. But you go anywhere else. I mean, there's a lot of other places. It's all it is. It's full things. I just have a feeling that the murder rate in the Lone Star State is about to... Boy, we're about to see just like Y2K numbers. Amazing. But also, when in doubt, you should be building up a pretty good bank. You should be filling up the memory bank with at least, I'd say at least half a terabyte of, solid content. Like if I was in the middle of the woods, I could, take care of business. Would not be the first time. Anyways. All right. So probably should stop talking about that. And let's go on to something super weird. So I'll give you a second to read this. Actually, wow. Okay. So, oh man, look, actors, you have to be kind of weird to be an actor, to in a certain extent. And I'm not saying being weird is a bad thing. I think being weird actually can be pretty good. Who the fuck wants to be completely normal and boring? So like weird is good, which I feel like I've said this before. It's kind of, I still believe it rings true. Weird is good. Strange is bad. So like it's okay to be weird. Weird is fun. Weird is, unique. Strange is when you got to watch out for the person. Like, you don't have to watch out for a weird person. You're just like, wow, that person did something kind of unusual. That person said something kind of unusual. I like to think that I'm a little weird. I don't necessarily think that I'm strange. I hope to God I'm not. But sometimes you see people. So, I used to work, I probably shouldn't name the place. I used to work at a place that sold a wide range of electronics. Probably narrows it down. When you work at a place like that, you're going to work with a lot of different kind of people. Mostly weird people. But again, weird is okay. But you're also going to occasionally work alongside some real fucking strange people. Case in point, there was a fella. Let's call him Benjamin. Old Benny. Very strange fella. Like, comes across from the moment you meet him as being very strange. And this is what I'm trying to say, the difference between like weird and strange. So one day, I go into the bathroom. So it was customary for me, as a person who hated their job, to, as soon as I clocked into work, immediately go to the bathroom and take at least a 15 to 20 minute shit. That's how I kickstarted the day. Granted, I was hungover, basically almost to the point of like running my head into a fucking brick wall. But I was always showing up to work very hungover, having just eaten God knows what to try to cure the hangover. So, pretty valid for me to need to take a massive dump in that moment. But I always made sure to clock in first because, there's no better feeling than getting paid to to, expel the old bowels. So I walk into the bathroom. What do I immediately see? I see old Benny standing right next to a urinal, shirt completely off, had just pulled up pants. And now this person, the body hair situation, like if you shaved a couple of guinea pigs, took a fan and just blew it on the ground, and then whatever hair stuck to the wall, that's what hair was on, neck to waist. Nipples kind of the color of like a Danimals strawberry banana yogurt. So, and like a skinny fat person, if that makes sense. Like a person who looks very skinny, and then you see them with shirt off, you're like, well, now how the fuck does this work? Like you have a lot of flab and shit. Doesn't make any sense. That's what I, walked in. Probably I was, between us girls, probably about to throw up. After, probably had somewhere between 30 and 35 natural lights the night before. So it's not really the sight that I was hoping to see walking into the bathroom. But that is what I saw. And I looked at old Benny and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" He said, "I'm changing." Now, 2 empty stalls next to urinals. So this motherfucker was changing and had been washing his armpits in the sink like a homeless person. Not actually homeless, though. That behavior is strange. It's not weird. That isn't weird. That is fucking strange. And that image of that weird-ass body has never left my mind and never will. Hopefully you were getting a good picture of it, and it will ruin your, next couple of weeks at least. So anyways, that's the difference between weird and strange. A weird person would not do that. Not at all. A strange person would and did. So, to go back to this, holy shit, I did not even remember where I was. Bradley Cooper, most actors I think are very weird. Kind of have to be. Occasionally an actor will become strange. Bradley Cooper has jumped into that group. Bradley Cooper is totally fine walking around naked at home, as his father was always nude in their house and reveals he used to shower with his dad. Okay. Now, I'll say, if I looked like Bradley Cooper, I would be naked right now. I would go to Walmart naked. I'd show up to the doctor naked. Everywhere I went, naked. There is no reason why anyone on this earth needs to know that you used to shower with your dad. And from the context clues that I was getting from this, it wasn't when he was 3 years old. It was... Bradley Cooper might have... this might have been like somewhere around after making like Case 39. Like Bradley Cooper might have been in pre-production of Silver Linings Playbook and was showering with his fucking dad. Now, it may not have been that old, but boy, does it kind of come across like that in our... Because otherwise, like, everybody showered with their dad when they were, like, really fucking little. Like, 1, 2. Like, you would take a bath. Sometimes, like, your dad's in the bathtub with you. Somehow, my fat ass actually used to fit in the sink as a baby, which... Boy, to go back to being, that little. My God. Anyways... under, like, I don't have kids. I don't really know for sure, but I would say under 3 and under is probably okay to bathe with a parent. 3 and under. That seems about right. Like, god damn, I don't know. 3 is kind of fucking old. So maybe under 3. Like, while you're still, if you refer to your age in months, like if somebody says you are a certain amount of months old, or a year and a certain amount of months, that's probably at the time where it's still okay to, like, bathe with a parent. And I think that's probably pretty normal. There's nothing necessarily strange about that. But this is not what this is. This motherfucker, I'm pretty sure, was driving. And still showering with old pops. I mean, how fucking... Now, granted, this is the same person who, for some reason, thought the world needed to see a movie about goddamn Leonard Bernstein, where he puts the largest prosthetic nose I have ever seen onto his face, because he's obviously playing a Jewish fella. Which, I probably shouldn't have said obviously, but, you know, from here to here, it looks like something that would be in, like, a Mel Gibson sleep paralysis moment. Yet, did not do a damn thing to cover up his bright blue eyes. Which leads me to believe that this motherfucker is probably one of the most egotistical human beings on the planet. I know that is maybe a stretch, coming off of just, like, you know... But also, like, why would you cover your whole fucking face in, you know, Nazi propaganda makeup and not put in a pair of fucking contacts? I don't know. And also, I tried watching a little bit of it, again, to go back to Oscar shit. Most boring goddamn movie I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, I made it maybe 20 minutes in. Like, I don't think this is a movie that I will ever need to have seen in my life. So, I didn't. Just saying, this is fucking strange. And sometimes, you know, as somebody who does talk into a microphone quite a bit, not everything needs to be said out loud. Sometimes, I mean, even if you did take a, you know, shower with your dad, you know, the night after you won an Oscar, as Bradley Cooper, he's won an Oscar, I think. I don't know. The night after I'm sure he's been maybe a Golden Globe, I don't know. I'm sure somebody bought his ass a Golden Globe at one point. But if you, you know, if you took a shower with your dad after that, probably should pump the brakes. Probably shouldn't be, you know, doing any kind of publicity tours. Anyways, so there's that. Let's see. I think we can do one more, and then we'll move on. All right, so an Indian restaurant guest vomit blood in gnarly video, mistakenly served dry ice. Now, let me tell you something. If I were to go to an Indian restaurant, vomiting blood is... So, like, whenever I eat pizza, I make sure to have at least 50 to 60 Rolaids on hand. God damn, there is a fuck ton of birds flying out around this window, and it is oddly terrifying. Jesus. I mean, I'm not a person who's necessarily scared of birds, but some, jeez, oh my God. There are still birds. Well, this can't be fucking good. I mean, there's like, I'm not even joking. I wish I could fucking show you the hundreds. And it's still happening. At least hundreds of birds are flying out of every single tree around here, flying onto the ground. Oh my God. If the world ends in the next 30 minutes, this will be a very good, I mean, it's still going. Holy fuck. I knew I shouldn't have kept this fucking window open. I mean, I'm not necessarily a person who has ADHD, because, well, my parents actually kind of gave a shit. But, I do get distracted by massive holy shit. So something just scared these birds, and I would guess 500 birds just flew. Anyways, alright. Not good. Maybe not good. Maybe good, maybe not. Anyways, Indian food. So whenever I eat pizza, I know it's going to fuck me up horribly. Also because I put a lot of ranch on pizza, which I did find out is basically like ranch and marinara combine, like those two things combined is basically what was in the atomic bomb. Yeah. So I shouldn't do that anymore, but I do. And I also eat pizza with jalapenos on it. So now I add that shit in there. Putting myself into a world of hurt. So, again, I prepare fuck ton of Rolaids. I'm basically like crushing them up and snorting them at some point. Now, going to eat Indian food, vomiting blood, I think, is just par for the course. I am not convinced that these people were served dry ice. I think they were served chicken tikka masala and just gave themselves severe diverticulitis within 30 seconds. This is not a surprise to me whatsoever. It's like blood vomit is like the fortune cookie for Indian food. Like you get it. That's what you get after your meal. You go eat at Panda Express, get a fortune cookie, which have really turned into a real fucking sham. Like they have gotten super lazy with fortune cookies lately. But anyways, go Panda Express, eat a bunch of shit, you get a fortune cookie. Go to an Indian restaurant, eat a bunch of shit. You will be spewing out blood like your goddamn Gene Simmons. So I guess let that be a lesson to you. I don't know. There's no point to any of this. I mean, such is life, I guess. All right, so let's move on to, the educational part of the show. And then we will get the fuck out of here. All right, taking a break. I have to piss so goddamn bad. And those birds did not help one bit. But here we go. All right, so time for the old Where That Come From. For this one, we're going back pretty far. And also, yes, it did just get darker. I had to fucking shut the window. I was getting way too distracted by the mass bird migration / takeover. So, anyways. So for this one, going back to the 11th century. During the 11th century, there was a very wealthy man named Leofric, the Earl of Mercia. So Earl Leofric, at the time, was just taxing the hell out of people. Just kept raising taxes up and up. His wife, being a pretty decent person, was like, hey, do you really have to do that? Like, is there any way that we could lower the taxes, help the people out? He says, okay, I'll make a deal. I will lower the taxes if you get naked and get on your horse and ride through the town completely naked. Him believing she would never do that was wrong. She does. Gets on her horse, rides through town naked, and he keeps up his end, lowers taxes. Now, if that sounds familiar, his wife is Lady Godiva. It's a very familiar story, should be to most people. It also, most likely, never happened. It's kind of a myth. She existed, but the whole idea of her riding through the town naked most likely never actually happened. But it becomes a very popular story and is told for hundreds and hundreds of years. So, nearly 600 years later, this story is still being told. Now, obviously, over time, some things change. The story kind of morphs, and it ends up adding a character. Now, in the 1700s, the story kind of morphs into... So, in the 1700s, the story kind of changes to where... Before she rode through the town naked, she actually went through the town and asked everybody to not look so that she could still keep up her end of the deal, but they wouldn't have to see her naked. So she asked everybody, like, hey, I'm going to ride through naked. Please don't look. And according to, the updated story, that's what happened. Nobody looked except for one person. There was one person who couldn't help himself. Now, this person did not exist. It's just part of the story. So they got to give him a name. So what do they call him? Well, they just take the generic name that you would give to, a nameless man, and that's what they call him. At the time, that name was Tom. And since he was the only person to sneak a peek at old Lady Godiva, he became known as the Peeping Tom. And that is where we get the phrase Peeping Tom. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Now, time to move on to the old half-ass history. And it is a motherfucker of a story. Alright, so last one. And, yeah, we're not really ending on a happy note, but it's interesting nonetheless. So, for this one, talking about the 24-hour race known as Le Mans. So, back in 1955, during the Le Mans 24-hour race, there was a driver named Lance Macklin. In the middle of the race, sees a car ahead of him slam on the brakes. So he has to swerve out of the way to not hit this car. Well, when he does that, he ends up swerving. And whenever he swerves out of the way, he ends up getting hit by another car. This car is being driven by a driver named Pierre Levay. Now, when Pierre Levay hits Macklin's car, it gets launched into the air at 125 miles an hour. Levay is tossed from the car and killed instantly. His car gets launched at 125 miles per hour into the crowd. When it does, the car basically explodes, and the hood, the engine, and other parts of the car just start shooting into the other spectator areas. The hood of the car went slicing through the air and ended up decapitating a bunch of the spectators. Yeah, the audience ended up getting hit with these like flaming balls of magnesium and get burned to death. It's just complete destruction, complete chaos. All in all, 83 people were killed. 120 were severely injured. So you would think, oh boy, that's going to be the end of the race. Well, you would be wrong. The race director, a fellow named Charles Farreau, said, and I quote, "The law of sport dictates that the race shall go on." And the race kept going. It was the worst crash in motorsports history. A real final destination. Yeah, fucking wild. So, good to end it on a short one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And that'll be the end for this episode. Until next time, goodbye.